this is Britta. I'm going to teach you how our makeup artist did the awesome Sugar Skull makeup in our Nightmare Before Christmas video. Before you start, you need to make sure you have the right paint to give it a really pretty smooth white base. So, she chose Paradise White, and she used a big, wide brush because it's easier to blend and because there was a lot of skin to cover. She used a kabuki brush, which can sometimes leave streaks, so she goes back in a minute and evens it out with a sponge. It was cool how quickly she took me from looking very tan to looking very dead. She started out the face design by concentrating on the parts of my face that would be sticking up. The tops of my cheekbones she made brighter, and my forehead and collarbone. That gave it a really cool skeleton illusion. With the Sugar Skull face, you need to choose what color is going to be your shadow. With a regular skeleton, you shade with black or gray. But with the Sugar Skull, especially if you wanted to be a pretty one, you make the shadows with something else. A really good eyeshadow is good. Because there was purple in my costume, she went with that. She started by hollowing out my cheekbones. The brush she used is called a smoothie blender and is used specifically for face painting. That gives more of a soft and a pretty hollowed out look. It starts out dark, then you use the brush to blend it down. You have to hollow out the eyes too, and that's where the skeleton look really starts coming to life. She used powder for this. It makes it more subtle and pretty for a Sugar Skull. She got it a little darker on the inside of the eye and then brought it right up to the eyebrow to slightly cover it. That creates a base for the other decorations you can add later around the eyebrow. Same thing on the other eye. Cover the entire area that would be hollowed out all the way up to the eyebrow. It's really nice when you're doing a Day of the Dead Sugar Skull to layer your colors. So now that she had purple, she took it a step further with some blue to hollow it out even more and make the plum color more of a purple. The blue added more depth to the inside corner of the eye. Same thing to the cheekbone. Blend it up, which simulates the look of what an airbrush would do. Take that up to the top of the eyebrow. Softly hollow that out even more. It's really beautiful when it's done. A bit more in the cheeks to give it that spooky look, but still keeping it pretty. Now it's time to start adding details on the face. She had a special palette that had more than one color in it, called a one-stroke cake, and a flat brush with an angle on it. That gave her more than one color in the brush, and the ability to make floral petals around the eyes that had an extra dimension. The one-stroke cake she used was called Neon Nirvana. You can't buy them in stores. You have to order them online on specialty sites. It lays down a lot of color very quickly. It took her a long time to master doing this, and they look so pretty. She wanted to give me a deep purple lip. You want to add a pretty color before you add the skeleton look to lips. She added a bit of two-tone, starting with purple, then added some pink for dimension. The nose of a Sugar Skull is very specific. It's kind of shaped like a spade, so she covered the tip of the nose, then added the bottom shape of the spade. She added a deeper blue to shade it, then blended it down. With these types of faces, it's all about dimension. We wanted it to look spooky, so she added a spider and a spider web to my forehead to match the spiders in my hair. She started with a little round circle and a big belly below. Pull and plop with the legs. Pull and plop. Pull and point at the end. That's how you make spider legs. 4 pointing up, pull, pull, and dagger. Then 2 facing downward. Pull, pull, and dagger. The spider web is going to give her really cool opportunities for shading. So she did one line straight up, trying to make them as symmetrical as possible coming up from the forehead. Then it's nice to do a little swirl. And then she connected those little swoops to give it a pretty shape. After that, she went back into the purple powder to shade those little webs. The powder she used was eyeshadow by Urban Decay. They've got some fun, bright colors that are perfect for something like this. On a Sugar Skull, you really have to have pretty swirly designs. So she added skeletal stitching around the mouth with a number 3 brush and wolf black cake paint. You need to make sure that you get the stitches very symmetrical. Then she continued that mouth line up just a little bit. Same thing on the other side. So where she shaded, she created some pretty swirl designs. It's spooky, but still elegant looking. Then she went in with the brush and detailed the eyes. The black created a strong line that made it look a bit cleaner. Same thing on the other side. Then she outlined all the pretty petals around my eyes. It takes more time, but really makes a big difference. Then she added some white highlights to make it really pop. A couple of places on the spider and then on the flowers. Just some little white dots. There was some empty space at the bottom, so she decided to create a little floral pattern on my chin, which is really common for the Day of the Dead design. Then a little bit more of the swirl design. Almost finished, but there is a missing element that is very important. Glitter. Glitter sticks very well to wet areas. Lips. Then, the tip of the nose, add that sparkle. It makes the face look brighter and a bit more magical. Then she decided to add just a few small gems with the eyelash glue. Not too much for overkill, but just on the spider head, its body, then right in the center of the swirl. My eyes looked a little too dark, so as a finishing touch, she decided to add something to brighten the eyelids. A little bit of gold and some more glitter. There! That made all the difference. Then it was time to add some fun details to my neck and arms. She had to white out my arms like my face, same big brush. She needed to carry the shading down to my collarbones to match the skeleton look of my face. Then she added a cute little patch on my neck using the same colorful one-stroke cake she used for the flower petals around my eyes. But this time with a bigger brush to get the big, fun section of color. A couple on my arms, choosing colors that matched the costume. The flat brush gave a nice square edge to the patch. Then, while it was still wet, she made the patches sparkle. Next, she outlined the patches and added some stitches for the full and complete effect. This gave us more of a Day of the Dead doll look. Doing it around my arm made it look like the whole thing had been stitched back on. Ta-da! All done! And there you have it. Now you know how to make your own makeup for a really beautiful and awesome sugar skull. Thanks for watching!